Okay, yesterday we were exploring this idea of culture shock. So people arrive in the country very excited, exhilarated, inspired, but it doesn't last forever. Different people have quite different periods. Sometimes it can be days, weeks, sometimes months. Yeah. Somebody said yesterday they're still honeymooning. That's pretty cool. That's pretty nice. Life is one big honeymoon. No worries. So this is, as I said, it's just an average. And what we'll be doing a bit later is, after we talk through these, I'm going to get you to think about how would you draw your particular journey. Would it have that shape, or it might have a very different shape? We're going to come up and put them on the board and see what average we get.
How to read this graph?
How
to read the graph? It's out of mind.
Well, here's time across the bottom. In terms of years, I think we can't look at this in terms of days, it's years. This will be another thing we're discussing, like for each person here, that time, we'll have different lengths. Now up the side, it says perceived competence. So how competent, when you're competent at something, you can do it. So when you're in a new culture, you don't feel very competent, you don't quite know what's going on, don't know how to react, don't know how to interpret things. As you get better and better, you get more competent, you get more kind of native-like, and a lot of stuff becomes automatic and less stressful, and after some time, most people end up, as it says, mastery. Can you see that at the very end? Mastery. So it's like any skill, playing the piano, playing tennis, football, whatever, you get better and better and you get control. But getting there can be tricky. So we talked about the honeymoon period and you discussed that and I had a few interesting things. Let's move on to the next stage. So there's a certain unreality about the honeymoon period. A lot of excitement, but is it real? Let's have a look at the next stage, rejection. The next phase of culture shock syndrome is referred to as the period of rejection. This stage is marked by criticism. Resentment is like anger. Anger that you don't really express, you hold inside. And anger. When an individual sets out to study, live or work in a new country, he or she will invariably experience difficulties with language, housing, friends, schoolwork and understanding. The idiosyncrasies, long word, but idio means the self. So idiosyncrasy means every one of us has idiosyncrasies, the particular way we, use our hands or our voice, or the way we look at people. Everyone's got their, like a fingerprint. So the particular characteristics. Every culture has its own very particular characteristics. That's idiosyncrasy.
I think the better word would be allergy.
Would be?
Allergy.
Allergy?
Yeah, allergy. Idiosyncrasy, it means allergy.
No, an allergy is like an inflammatory response to something.
Yeah. But in social aspect, it could be idiosyncrasy.
In medically, everybody has their own allergies, so it's idiosyncratic.
Variety of allergens.
Yeah.
But in social aspect, different culture could be allergenic to the person as well.
Yeah, I guess, look, but anything, it's not always a negative thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So
negative.
you could have an idiosyncrasy that's kind of really positive, that people like. So I'd say there's that distinction. Yeah. often resulting in frustration. Yeah, so here's the frustration period. Things aren't quite as good as you thought, or you don't understand things, or you're having trouble with language. The rejection period can be triggered, caused, by the realisation that as an outsider in a new culture, language or misunderstandings of cultural cues, like clues, signals, can often make the simplest tasks seem like a daunting challenge. Collocation, daunting, difficult. Very difficult, very difficult. Furthermore, because the high expectations set during the honeymoon period appear much further out of reach, the individual feels disillusioned, means disappointed. So luge or lux is light, so it's been removed, the light has been removed. So you feel kind of depressed and disappointed. Yeah, so this period of rejection. So we have honeymoon here. Quite a lot of energy, excitement, hope, but then things get a bit tricky for whatever reason, and they're different combinations of reasons for different people. It depends on personality, the culture you come from, the new culture you're arriving in, your economic situation, why you came here, all that complexity. Yeah. So coming down, the descent. And that word as a noun, descend with a D, descent. Period of descent, coming down. Period of ascent, coming up. Ascent, going up. Yeah, so let's cover this difficult period here. Move over the page as well. The extreme letdown. Letdown means like disappointment. Experienced during the rejection period causes the individual to become critical of his or her new environment, of the people, their culture, and of all the perceived differences with the culture at home. So, and often this rejection, criticism. Why do these bloody Aussies do it like that? We don't do it like that back home. How stupid. What the hell's going on? That sort of stuff. This letdown often pushes. Forwards, pushes people forward. Think of other words. Compel, propel, propulsion. This pel is about pushing. It's a useful root. So this letdown, this disappointment often propels an individual into the stage of regression and isolation, right? Isolation, I think you're clear on being alone, isn't it? Now that might be totally alone, it might be with your family. Go home, lock the door, shut the windows, pull down the blinds, Right, I'm safe. Get out the DVDs from the old country, sit down, 3 days of DVDs. I'll feel better.
Listen to sad music.
Yeah, that's right. Get on the internet and just read, Arabic websites, Korean, whatever, just go home on the internet. Yeah. Just spend the whole weekend Skyping back home. So, regress. Remember gress, step. Gress means to step. It's an important one. Progress, retrogress, grade. Grade and gress means step. So regress, going backwards.
Is it related to regress?
No, I don't think so. Not sure. It'd be an interesting one to look up. Could be. But regression, as a psychological term, regression means going back actually to your earlier stage of psychological development. So little kids, for example, they start walking, toddlers, and something happens, go back, sit in the corner, suck their thumb. It's that I want mummy kind of regression. So we retreat into protected environments and we isolate ourselves. from all of that stuff that's coming from outside.
Do you know, John, there is people here for long time, for example, for more than 15 years,
Yeah,
and they do what you said.
sure.
Close the door, shut the window, and
Yeah.
open the internet.
Yeah,
Keep in touch with their own home, especially people who cannot go home back.
yes,
There is bad situation in their home, so
Yeah.
they stay, keep in touch with their home. They didn't want to accept any change.
yeah, right.
So
Yeah, it's
very
a
bad
difficult,
situation.
very difficult situation, isn't it?
Very difficult, not for him, for his family,
Yeah,
for his wife,
Right.
for his children.
yeah,
Many
Yeah,
people
okay.
suffer.
right. Yeah, it is. It's a real state of suffering, absolutely. And then when you're in here, it's like what we call a negative. That shape is a spiral. So it's like a negative spiral, or you might know this term, a vicious like nasty circle or cycle. It's a vicious circle, isn't it? Like because they're in the house, they don't learn any more language like English, and because of that, they feel, isolated and anxious, and so they stay at home more. So they learn less and less language. So you're into these serious vicious cycles, vicious circles. Sure. So that is the key to ultimately breaking out, is when you naturally feel like this, but you've got to somehow overcome it and open up, isn't it? It's about staying open. When the rest of you is saying retreat, shut down, you've got to kind of, through meta-awareness, hopefully, and this sort of things helping in developing the meta-awareness of self-management, I've got to keep going. And it may not be keep going into the most threatening thing, but have a break from that for a while, but at least stay open and explore other areas and territories until you build up the resources to tackle that really difficult thing again, whatever it might be. Let's push on here. Yeah, in this stage, the culture from which the individual has come is idealised. So here, back home, perfect life. Why am I back there? Things were so good. The birds were singing, the flowers were coming out, everything was beautiful. It was springtime all the time. I don't remember winter. Everyone was friendly. I don't remember that fight I had with my best friend. You do all that kind of filtering, don't you? Yeah. The word for, that word in English? Looking back on the past and idealising, everything was beautiful yesterday. Everything was so good yesterday. Nostalgia. So that can be pretty strong in this time. For example, an Italian student studying in the US for a semester may indiscriminately, without careful thinking, view his Italian university past experiences or friendships as superior, regardless of any problems inherent to those relationships. The student risks further isolation from the new environment. Then they go into symptoms. We'll look at symptoms in a minute. These can be physical or psychological or behavioural. Symptoms exhibited during this period include anxiety, sadness, homesick and anger. These feelings manifest mean become real, become into the actual world, show themselves in changes in behaviour. Inappropriate anger over slight delays and minor frustrations, changes in sleep patterns, compulsive eating and drinking, irritability, that is like being in a bad mood, easily annoyed, poor concentration and unexplainable crying. The stage of rejection and regression is variable in length, that can last up to 6 to 8 weeks. Well, it will certainly be longer than that. Take no notice of that. This is written for international students, and they're sort of, they know they're going home in 6 months, and maybe the whole thing gets shorter. I think when I print this off next time, I'm actually going to take that out. It's quite misleading.
17 months. For my grants, psychology says 17 months.
17 months? Okay. Of this period?
Yes.
Right.
From the honeymoon
Yeah.
to acceptance.
Right. Right, that's an interesting figure. Yeah, we'll see, because when people map it, I'd like people to write their time periods as well. We'll kind of get an average of what it is, if it happened to you. Okay, so we talked about all the sweetness and light yesterday, collocation, sweetness and light. Now we're going to look at the dark side. All right? The dark side. Now, you might still be in the dark zone, all right? You might be crawling out the other side. You might have already crawled out. You might be here. When we cover the whole thing, we'll find out where people are. But if you're here, use your memory. What was that time like? If you're in the middle of it, you'll be able to describe it very well, I think. What is it for you? What did you have it? Maybe you didn't. Maybe you're still in honeymoon. But yeah, look, I'll just hand it over to you to have a chat and share your ideas. Very good. I was involved. I was